Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Sal Albanese, Democratic candidate for mayor, joined by David Eisenbach, Democratic candidate for public advocate, and a group of civic leaders from this area. We're here to protest the city's actions to demap this playground. My campaign theme is a more livable city, and playgrounds and parks are essential to the city's quality of life. And when we start doing this, demapping parks to take care of big developers, what we're doing is we're adversely impacting the quality of life in the city and setting a precedent where other parkland and other playgrounds are going to be demapped. We know that the administration is wrecking a lot of community gardens, and this is part and parcel of their efforts. And this area, by the way, has a very low percentage of parkland, which once again is important to neighborhoods and communities. So I'm here to oppose the project. I'm here to ask the governor not to support this project. And also, behind the scenes here is a bevy of lobbyists that you'll find with every single development project in the city. The people that are engaged in pay to play, the Capolinos of the world, represent this developer who spent $400,000 to build this huge tower, which is so out of sync with the community. So we're telling the city fathers and the governor that we're opposed to this project. We're working closely with the community, and we want to reject it because, once again, it's not only a project that will impact this neighborhood, it will set a precedent throughout the city where parks and playgrounds are so important to the quality of life of neighborhoods, and they're going to continue to demap them so we can build these huge towers in the city of New York. We're looking forward to defeating this project, working with the community.
I would just like to say there are 280 playground parks that are now vulnerable as a result of the precedent that this situation will set. On September 12th, Democrats will face a decision. Are you going to vote for politicians like Sal and myself who are not in the pockets of the big real estate industry? Or will you vote for those who are puppets of big real estate and who are willing to give away our parks for the special interests?
We're very concerned about preservation and land use, and this is a land use issue. This alienation of this parkland is a very serious matter because it can be replicated elsewhere. We think this tower, 700 feet tall, is outrageous and is twice as tall as anything else in the neighborhood, and it is taller than anything north of 60th Street, going all the way up to Boston, if you will. And we're afraid that there's 280 parks like this, playgrounds like this, they will become development sites throughout the city. And we have at least one of them in our catchment area, which is just 3 blocks away. So we think that we are very glad that elected people that are seeking office are concerned about this issue because it will increase people's awareness of what is at stake and what could be done about it. So we're very grateful to you for raising this issue.
Thank you so much.
And both of you.
Well, we also know that 60% of de Blasio's campaign money come from developers and lobbyists. So pay to play is on steroids in New York City, and the developers are running the show. They're running amok. Communities are being overrun. Parks are being overrun. That's why we need to change the campaign finance system in New York City so that we avoid this kind of reckless abandon of neighborhoods just running right over their interests. And David and I are proposing new ways to finance campaigns so we don't have this legal corruption in place. You have a shadow government in New York City. In the old days, it used to be the political machines. Today, it's lobbyists, consultants, and political operatives. And they're in the business of politics. They're not in the business of public service. And this is Exhibit A, what we're talking about. The people that are helping this developer are being paid hundreds of thousands of dollars to influence the mayor and influence the decision makers, and they're pretty good at it. They're very good at it, and we want to change that equation.
We're here because we see this as part of the plan to towerize the entire East Harlem neighborhood from here, all the avenues up to 125th Street. That's the East Harlem rezoning plan, and this is, of course, outside it, but is part of the same sort of game plan. You can get affordable housing without towerizing the city, and we want the politicians who are running for office to start thinking about a different way to get affordable housing. Thank you.
The community is really surprised by this type of development project, which was sold to us under the premise of a Trojan horse. We have been fighting for affordable housing here in East Harlem for the last 40 years. There are more than 4 local not-for-profit housing organizations that have redeveloped this area. I'm a resident, born and raised here, and while I lived here through the worst part of the city's history in this area, I'm here now to stay here because I want to enjoy it. I want to enjoy everything that I have fought for, as well as all the other community residents. The mayor's given away more than $47 billion for for-profit developers in an area that not-for-profits used to assist in. I'd like to know, why doesn't the mayor, the administration, HPD, have that confidence that has helped to rebuild New York City? The local not-for-profits have been totally discounted from this whole redevelopment of East Harlem, and anyone making less than $32,000 is being discounted from the whole plan. So it's not affordable, neither is it inclusive. It's exclusive, and it's not affordable. We're against it.
Let me also point out that the borough president of Manhattan voted against de Blasio's rezoning plan just last week, actually, and she said that Harlem has already lost about 3,000 units of affordable housing, and she voted against de Blasio's hyper-gentrification proposal because she said we would lose another 3,000 units of housing. So what the mayor is doing is not building affordable housing for residents. He's hyper-gentrifying these neighborhoods, driving out working people. That's why we have 60,000 people that are homeless. That's why we have 100,000 kids in our public schools that are homeless, and some of those people actually work in our shelters. I mean, 25% of the folks that are in shelters, children and families, work. They have jobs, but they can't afford to live in the city because the mayor is not building affordable housing.
Sal, when I asked the mayor's office about this in June, they said that this project, their defense was this would be the first new high schools in East Harlem in 50 years, that it was going to bring 300 units of affordable housing, and that there was going to be a replacement park nearby. And then their exact quote was, anyone saying the status quo is better is turning a blind eye to the community's need for better schools and homes people can afford. How would you respond to that?
First of all, they're not building affordable housing. Second of all, there's no reason to wreck a playground. There are other parts of the community where they can build affordable housing. We don't need a big tower. We do not need the parkland to be evaporated as a precedent for the rest of the city, and we can build a high school somewhere else. I mean, this is what the administration does. They try to paint over these giveaways to developers as helping the communities. They're not helping the communities, they're helping the developers. That's the bottom line. And their lobbyists. And the community's rejecting it. Folks want decent housing, they want affordable housing, they want schools, but not under these terms.